and welcome. You're watching the newsroom. Breaking this hour, U.S. President Donald Trump says all airspace over and around Venezuela is now closed. Has made the announcement in a post on Truth Social, addressing airlines, pilots, as well as drug and human traffickers, saying the airspace is closed in its entirety. This comes after U.S. aviation authorities warned major airlines last week of a potentially hazardous situation over the Venezuela due to worsening security conditions and increased military activity. Venezuela has since revoked operating rights for 6 major international airlines that had suspended flights following the FAA's warning. The move underscores rising tensions and growing instability in Venezuelan airspace. Joining us now is my colleague Marisha Barb. Marisha, what more can you tell us about this evolving situation?
Yes, well, Asuma, to give you and our viewers more clarity about the situation that's going around the airspace of Venezuela and US, let's in fact dissect the two nations in itself. Let's talk about the US's perspective. Now, Donald Trump mentioned in his recent Truth Social that he is considering to close the entirety or the entire region or the entire airspace around Venezuela. Now, the tensions between Venezuela and USA have not been new. In fact, a long-standing affair of tensions and fights have been going on between the two nations, even in their naval spaces. Many vessels have been struck down by the US in the recent past. But to talk more about this situation, with regards to the US military operations are targeting drug boats in the Caribbean for quite some time now. And the FFA warnings have given major warnings with regards to airlines and airspaces that do come across the Venezuela coast. Now, if you talk about Venezuela's take on it, Maduro has not commented. They have refused to comment about this situation, but tensions are arising. First, it was their naval space, now it's their airspace. So yes, Asma, that's it for you and your viewers with regards to the tensions that are rising in the Venezuelan airspace.
Thank you very much, Marisha. Now, moving on, in a statement, U.S. President Donald Trump has argued that tariffs have been a key factor in making the United States rich, strong, and powerful, as well as safe. He has highlighted that tariffs, which have historically been used by other countries against the U.S., are now a strategic advantage for the country due to the policies he has implemented. Trump has pointed to economic gains under his administration, claiming that tariffs have contributed to a record-high stock market, increased 401k returns, and a reduction in inflation, prices, and taxes. He has also noted that U.S. education has been brought back to the United States and national security has been strengthened with a more powerful military and enhanced border security. The president has argued that these measures have restored America's global standing, claiming that country is now respected again and no longer a poor and pathetic laughingstock. Trump has also expressed his concerns over challenges to his tariff policies in the U.S. Supreme Court, urging prayers for the justices to make decisions that will protect America's interests. Now, moving on, a deadly shooting near the White House in which 20-year-old National Guard member Sarah Backstorm has passed away. Another soldier, Andrew Wolfe, has critically been wounded. It has triggered a wide-ranging immigration crackdown across the United States. The suspected shooter, Rahmanullah Rakhanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan who entered the U.S. through a resettlement program after the 2021 withdrawal, will be charged with murder, officials have said. Attorney General Pam Bondi vowed to seek the death penalty, calling him a monster. In response, President Donald Trump announced a plan to permanently pause migration from what he called third world countries, targeting 19 nations, including Afghanistan, Cuba, and Iran. The U.S. CIS has halted all asylum decisions pending enhanced vetting, while the State Department has suspended visas for all travelers with Afghan passports. The administration also plans to re-examine green card issues to migrants from the 19 countries, a population exceeding of 1.6 million people. Advocacy groups accuse the government of exploiting the attack to justify long-planned immigration restrictions, noting that Afghans underwent some of the most extensive screening of any arrivals. Now moving on, focusing to India, India's aviation sector is experiencing widespread disruption after Airbus issued a global directive for a major software fix across its A320 fleet. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation has said that 338 A320 family aircraft have been identified in India, and 55% of them have already undergone the required flight control software updates. The DGCA has issued a mandatory modification directing airlines to complete the upgrades based on guidance from Airbus and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, according to DGCA data. 200 IndiGo aircraft, 113 Air India planes, and 25 Air India Express jets were affected, with upgrades completed on 113 IndiGo India and 4 Air India Express aircraft. Airlines have warned passengers to expect delays and schedules changes as the work is carried out at bases across major Indian cities. Joining us now is my colleague Marisha Barv. Marisha, what more can you tell us about this?
Yes, well, within the airspace scenario that's going on, let's talk about where and how this eruption actually came about and how this disruption has been caused. Let's take it back to the origin of it. Now, the directive followed an incident on October 30 this year when a JetBlue flight from Cancun to Newark experienced an uncommanded pitch down. Now, this pitch down caused injuries to a couple of the passengers on board, which then transcended into a whole evaluation and re-evaluation of the software. Now, the preliminary Airbus assessment suggested a malfunction in the software, which has now transpired into the assessment of the software within many airlines in itself. When you talk about the Airbus family software, which is part of the directive, authorities identified around 55% of planes working and traveling domestically within India. Now, 55% is a large number when you look at it. Around 186 carriers are being accounted within these 55%, which have undergone the flight control software update. Now, these were issued by the DGCA, like you mentioned, following the Airbus's global software fix, which was a solution provided. Now, the impact was that the software fix has caused disruptions in global flight timings. Many international and domestic flights have been affected by this. Many delays or cancellations have been seen, and a lot of complaints by passengers and regular passengers within the nation and the global sphere have been issued and warned about these delays. When you talk about specifics like IndiGo, Air India, the Air India Express, these are a few of the carriers and air agencies that have fallen in crisis of this software. Both Air India and IndiGo have issued warnings to passengers about this delay. The location has to be taken note of. People traveling from airline bases in Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad within India have majorly faced the issue of this software crisis. So yes, Asuma, these are more details that you and our viewers need to be taking note of if at all you are planning any further travel in the coming few months. So yes.
Thank you very much, Marisha, for giving that update. Now we move on to our next news. In Kyiv, the capital's water supply has